Guys, welcome back. This is your weekly Iron Challenge review, and today we are going to go over the power of not interrupting and how staying quiet will actually allow you to be able to hear more. And we've kind of broken it down and given our input and thoughts. And if you want to go ahead and kick it off,
Yeah,
I can start with
so
you.
as we did notice, many of family and friends have brought up to us, as well as we've noticed, a lot of interrupting. And so that could go for just a personal conversation, but we've noticed when we're shooting the podcast, we were interrupting each other a lot. And I've noticed it could really throw off the flow of the conversation. It could also even make someone forget what they were even trying to make a point of.
Mm-hmm.
So today we're going to just kind of break down this week's challenge on how we're going to go about less interrupting and what ways we want to do or improve on those ways.
Mm-hmm.
So just making it a point to really listen than to make my points, because I already know, even before usually someone starts speaking, I already almost know my points and all that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like just really absorb what they're saying, man, because if not, they're gonna say their thing, it's just gonna go ready to say my point, and it's like
Right.
I already know my point.
Yeah.
So that's a definitely something I need to do.
Yeah. Really, boy? Yes, this is a cat in front of the camera. We're gonna keep going.
All right.
But also to a point, when you interrupt somebody, you also take the conversation to a different direction and what the original question was asked.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? When you interrupt something, and then when you already have your point, you're actually not being mindful or present. You're just waiting to
Yeah,
react.
exactly. Yeah.
And that, yeah, for conversation, you
Mm-hmm.
probably will never get anything out of it. And how do you expect to get anything out of it when you just want to share your point, share your point? You might not receive
Totally.
something that somebody was just about to say.
Yep.
um so that was your first one.
Yeah, that's gonna be mine.
Okay, so the first one I have is, so I'm a GM at a restaurant, and we have weekly meetings because our restaurant is in a hotel. And every Thursday we have these BEO meetings, and it's basically letting the hotel is letting us know what groups they have coming in, what events they have scheduled, and then we'll go over what events we have scheduled and planned, and also what guests will be able to come into the hotel. They'll talk about valet. They'll talk about what the kitchen needs to provide, what setups we need. So there's a lot of information going on, and what I need to do is be more present in that and write down questions, because at the end there's always a question that I have during while listening, but then when they ask any questions, I'm like, no, 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 I'm good. And then day before or day of an event, I'm like, shoot, like what was I supposed to do? They have printouts and stuff like that, but there's little things that aren't on paper that are really important. So I think just being more present in those meetings, instead of just like kind of being on autopilot and not participating, I need to write down questions so I can be more involved with that. And it'll help my job go by a lot easier and help my employees have an easier day, with those events coming in. So that's
Definitely.
my first one.
And that's why it's good to have that passion planner,
Yep.
or as I've said many times, it's you have like it's how you said in the moment, and I have it all the time. I have like, oh, I got to do this. The best example for me is at night. I think of five things I got to do in the morning, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, I got to do these things. I wake up, can't think of a single thing that I got to do.
Right.
But yet in the moment, I had five. How you said you have three questions, and in the night, oh, I'm good. I think I'm good. It's just like because so much happens just within the next 5 minutes that it can make you forget.
Yeah.
I've driven into work and said, oh, I got to sign this SOP sheet. As soon as I get in there, then I'm already leaving out to a delivery or something. I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't sign the SOP sheet. So it's we have so much going through our mind,
Yeah.
but definitely even just right then as you're talking,
Mm-hmm.
as you're saying, oh, I gotta write these down. I'm going passion planner,
Yep.
and I'm like, but I let you talk and let me understand what you're saying, because it may go some other direction where I have some better information for you.
Right.
So, and then
Your second one.
yeah, for my second one, so a way I'm gonna do it is because we it does say in the challenge, as someone is talking and an idea comes up and not wanting to interrupt, you write it down. But as I'm noticing, well, as I'm writing it down, I may forget, and so what they're actually telling me,
Right.
because I'm so focused already back again on
Yeah.
my point,
Mm-hmm.
or even I am listening, but I'm already ready to say my point on what they've said, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm gonna do is kind of stick it to right now how you're saying that. All I gotta do is write one word
Mm-hmm.
or two, passion planner.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Just I think 1 to 2 words is gonna be enough for your brain to trigger it back to remembering that one little subject.
Right.
Whereas like I'm sitting here and you're talking the whole time, and I'm like, now how am I gonna pay attention at
Right.
the same time if I could just go, passion planner, boom,
Mm-hmm.
done, and just sit there and really pay attention,
Yeah.
and then you may say something again, I'll be like, oh my god, that's another good one, boom,
Yeah.
like that, just 1 word, 2 words tops,
Yeah.
and that should be enough where it triggers you back and you have all this information. If not, maybe it wasn't that important,
Right.
So I think I'm gonna do that for my challenge this week as we're
Mm-hmm.
doing podcasts, as I'm listening to other people, just in regular conversations.
Yeah.
Make more of a mental note and just stay focused in on what they're saying,
Yeah.
because I tend to just start
Yeah.
drifting off. So
Kind of reminds me of in college when we'd have like science class or bio class, and the teacher is lecturing, and it's a lot of terms that they're mentioning, and we would just use acronyms when we're taking notes. So that way, as soon as like I go back to study, it's like, oh, okay, like this is the acronym for this and this is the acronym for that, and it just recollects. It's not really in conversation, but taking information down also.
yeah, and how you said it, it's that one word that could
Yeah.
you pop it back out the
Yeah.
whole conversation or
Mm-hmm.
thing you want to say. What's your
So my second and last one that I have is, it's kind of different, but in relationships, you can really get it in the heat of the moment with your partner. Not a lot of people can do this or have the self-restraint to do it, but in previous relationships when there has been conflict, what I actually do is write notes on what my partner is telling me, what they need and what they want, and I'll be like, okay, like, is that your perspective? This is my perspective. I'm myself. I'm going to remove myself from here. I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to go in the other room, and I'm going to take some notes down on what I feel like you're saying to me and what I hear. And then in 10 minutes, when we're all calmed down and we're cool, I'm going to come back in and re
evaluate
or just like reiterate what you just told me. So I want you to know that I'm understanding and being on the same page.
and you're listening,
Right.
Yeah.
And hopefully that partner can do the same, because I'm not going to force somebody to process things outside of how they process things. So that for me has helped me a lot, because my partner feels heard. They know I'm paying attention, and I care about how they feel. I care about the safety in the relationship as well, and knowing that I do take them seriously.
Yeah, it's great, man.
So it's really hard in the moment, when you're angry and there's emotion and stuff like that. But if you can just remove that and just hear them,
Yeah.
that's all it's about. Because you're serving them, they're serving you, and that's how a partnership should be. So
Yeah, and a lot of the times it's you don't even know what you're arguing about,
right,
because you're so heated. But the point is, right there, is you're taking a lot of emotion out of it, and really trying to, okay, what are you saying?
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Like, because exactly, there's times where it could be 5 hours in, still mad, and it's like at this point, I honestly don't even almost know what I'm mad about.
Right.
So yeah, that's a great way to. Then you tell them, and then they may see it and be like, I guess it kind of sounds stupid now that I hear it. Or, it
Right.
may be like, okay, so I guess you can hear me. So
Yeah.
can you, do something about
Right.
it, basically? Or,
And I'm trying to hear your perspective and what you want. I'm not just trying to give you my perspective.
yeah.
And this is what I
Which
think
is
is
tough
right.
for me.
Or
Yeah.
I'm trying to win, or something like something dumb like that.
I'm always
So,
trying to get my point across. Every
Right.
couple, right? Usually is what you're saying. And I agree, because I'm always trying to win. I'm trying to prove my point.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's like, listen, maybe
Right.
you are wrong, because
Flip it.
it's going to be 50-50. You're going to be right sometimes, you're going to be wrong sometimes.
Right.
So maybe it's not about being right or wrong, but maybe you'll be on the side of right, which is compassion, listening, not so much you won the argument, but you truly listened, and you're going to be better and understand and break it down,
Even if you agree to disagree, at least you know where your partner's at, and you guys can come together if it comes up again. Like, okay, I know where you stand with this. Now you know where I stand with this, and you guys are just better.
That's
on the
communication.
same page. Yep.
Yeah, and that's
100%.
the number one.
All right, what you got?
That's it.
That's all you have?
Two. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
okay.
Two. You have one more? You want to bring it home?
Nah, it was just going to be about the podcast as well, like also taking notes. And I think we did a great job in our first interview, not interrupting. Really asking questions or putting in comments on pauses that were acceptable for us to be able to add input and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Um,
because it's fine to like chime in a little
right.
and stuff too. You don't
Yeah.
want to just sit there and be a wall.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's at the same time we did notice we're interrupting.
Hmm.
It's funny that you kind of brought it up, and
Hmm.
then your mom brought it up, and
Yeah.
then Gabby brought it up. So it's
Yeah.
like, and I'm thinking it, so it's like it's obvious. We
But
just
it's constructive criticism, and
yeah,
we're
yeah, it's
taking
not
it and
nothing.
we're adjusting, and it's not things that are gonna make us compromise ourselves. It's literally just etiquette and mannerisms in
Yeah, exactly.
conversation.
Yeah, it just makes it flow better.
Hmm.
Definitely.
Yep.
So yeah,
All right, guys.
cool.
Well, that was the power of interrupting, and that was your weekly Iron Challenge
Interrupter
review.
right here.
Mr. Waffles here, star of the show, I'm sure. But we'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.
Later.